One day, Mom was feeding grackles hard broken pieces of leftover bread. I was afraid the bread was going to kill the birds. At that moment, a new neighbor across the street came out to her front yard, set up a giant St. Francis bird bath, filled it with water, and went back inside to watch for the birds. "What in the world is that?" Mom asked, as if she had seen a most unusual and strange thing, a bird bath in the front yard. That is a bird bath with a statue of St. Francis, patron saint of all animals, on it. And if you watch, the birds you are killing with your hard shards of bread are taking it to her bird bath to soften and to eat. Mom watched as each bird took her bread, flew to Mrs. Sanchez's bird bath, dipped the bread, ate it, and returned. After watching several flights of the grackles flying from her yard to Mrs. Sanchez's bird bath and back, Mom clapped her hands together and declared, "I like that lady." That is when Mom flew over to Mrs. Sanchez, and they became lifetime friends. So that is the story about how my mother met Mrs. Sanchez and began this lifelong friendship. I wrote a 181-word story, and then I went through the story and found photographs that would sort of go along with the story. The next thing was to open Photo Story 3 and import all the photos in the order in which they occurred in the story. So you saw my mother first, the grackle next. After that, the St. Francis bird bath. Then my mother's photo. She was shocked by the bird bath. The explanation of what the bird bath was and who St. Francis was. Watching the birds go back and forth and dip their shards of bread into the water of the bird bath and fly back to my mother. So I used a couple of photos of the grackle for that purpose. Next was showing my mother's surprise at what this wonderful neighbor had done and how much she liked this lady. And last you see the photo of the friendship. When you have your photos ready to use, lined up in your My Pictures folder, you are ready to open Photo Story 3. You will want to get all of your photos imported. You can do that by importing them one at a time in the order in which they go in the story. You narrate over your photo by choosing the photo over which you want to narrate. You hit the red button to record, the square button to stop. You hit the hooked arrow button if you want to delete what you have read over the photo. Or you can push preview and it will let you hear what you've recorded. Once you have recorded over all of your photos and you are more or less happy, you may advance to select music. Select the music you wish to use, making sure that the tempo matches the mood of your story. Be careful when you use copyrighted music, but choose the music selection that Photo Story offers. And make sure that you use the volume control to to turn the music down so it doesn't overpower your narration. Once you are more or less happy with your narration over each photo and the music you have chosen, then you may save the project. This is very important, so you will be able to go back and edit. After you have saved the project, you can render the project by saving it on your computer for future use.